Now when you come to make your own box, you can use any dimensions you like, as long as it's vaguely box shaped, but I'm going to tell you mine now for reference. So when it's folded up, it's going to be 11 centimeters square by 4 centimeters high. And that results in a template like this with, let's see, a top and bottom flap of 7 centimeters by 11 centimeters, a right flap, which is the one that will fold over in the end, of 11 centimeters by 9 centimeters, and then you're going to need to put a fold in at 4 centimeters. Same goes with the top and bottom flaps. And then a left flap of 15 centimeters by 11 centimeters. And that gives it an overall measurement of 26 high and 35 long. Now I'm going to begin to decorate the box by, first of all, stamping. I got this really cute set of French stamps. Actually, it was from my local DIY store. They seem to have a corner for ladies now, which is nice. But I'm going to begin with the fleur-de-lis. Just go over here and stick it onto my acrylic pad, like this. And I'm going to begin with Paris Dusk, very apt colour there. It's Memento ink. And I'm just going to ink up my stamp. Turn my box over so that we've got the front of the box here. And I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. I'm going to be quite random. And so I'm not going to ink up immediately, but I'm just going to kind of go off the edge like that. Maybe I'll ink up again now. But I like to have a kind of, sometimes a faded look to the stamps, to the images that are stamped. I'm just going to do a few more. And again, it doesn't really matter how random or how pale they come out, because I think it all kind of adds to the look in the end. I'm going to do a couple more in blue. I'm going to just do one off the edge here, so I'm going to fold it down so we don't get any ink on the other side. And there we have the very first basis of our cover. I'm going to continue to do that on the back and on the main part on the inside as well. Now, to bring a little depth to the beginning of the decoration, I'm going to use the same stamp in the same place pretty much, but I'm going to use black ink. This is a Memento Tuxedo Black. So I'm just going to ink up my stamp pad again, and I'm just going to put one stamp, and I'm probably going to put it right in the middle. So it might overlap with some of the original images, and it might not, and I'm just going to put it there. Just the one black. And once we've done that, we have to remember there is a flap that's going to hold this box together, and that goes here. And obviously right now we can see that it's covering over the image. So what I'm going to do, just to bring that together, is make sure I've got the bottom bit lined up with the top bit there, and I'm going to push it down to the side. Just push it in, make sure you get right into the fold with the layer underneath, and then take your stamp already inked up and try to line it up with the version you've already done, and then just stamp down like that. Alright, so now it's time to cover up. Get some newspaper. It's going to get messy. Got a couple of sheets here, and hopefully this should protect most of my table, because I'm going to be spraying some Glimmer Mist, except it's Cosmic Shimmer Mist, which is a cheaper version. I'm quite happy with it. The only thing is, it's got a very powerful spray, so you have to kind of pull your arm really far away to not get really thick coverage. So I'm going to give the front cover, I'm going to fold it over very carefully now. You have to fold it all up. If it works, fold it all up like that, so that we're only going to get the front part. If it stays like that. It's not going to hurt to just cover over the bits that you don't want with some other newspaper. There, I'm just going to hold that in place. The colour I'm going to use here is Ancient Copper, as you can see. And as I said, I'm going to pull my arm really far away to get quite a light coverage, and I'm not going to put it directly in the middle, so it's going to be kind of a bit haphazard, and there's probably going to be loads that goes on the camera, but here goes. And I'm going to try another little bit in a different colour. This one's Midnight Blue. Give it a bit of a shake and a bit of a spray. I'm going to try and head over to the top corner now for this one. And just, there you go. So I'm going to move on to making the cubes that appear on the inside of the album. Now, because of my measurements, I've had to choose to do a cube which is 2.5 centimeters square, and that's to match up with the other squares. But then it's going to be 3 centimeters deep. I wanted it to be quite deep to give some, well, depth, I guess, to the album. It's not quite as deep. If you remember, the album's actually 4 centimeters deep, and so the cubes are going to be just 1 centimeter less than the album, but any deeper and you would kind of lose sight of the things inside them. So we're going to go with this. Obviously you can make the cube to whichever dimensions your album fits, and it's not really a cube because it's slightly off by 0.5 of a centimeter, but let's work with it anyway. So what you want to do is you want to mark out like a grid so that you can score across like that, and then turning around like that, and then the square you get in the middle is going to be the background, and that's going to be the bit that sticks to the album. It's like a noughts and crosses grid. So then what we want to do is fold and score. I'm just going to fold them quite quickly. Just needs to be a little bit flexible, like that. So I don't really even need the bone folder. And then if you take a corner and you want to cut up to the fold, just there, then rotate 90 degrees, cut again, rotate another 90 degrees, cut again, and rotate a final 90 degrees and cut the final corner there. Now, because I've not matched up the dimensions properly, as I said, this is 2.5, but the sides are going to be 3 centimeters. I've actually had to mark a little bit off of the edge here, so I'm just going to cut those off so that when we actually fold the box up and stick it together, there won't be any edges sticking out or anything like that. So I'm just going to quickly chop the corners off. You might have to do this for neatness anyway. I mean, just make it and see how it turns out. There you go. And then we're going to fold the box up. We're not going to stick it down yet because obviously we're going to decorate on the inside. Now you can put the flats on the outside and stick them down, or put the flats on the inside and stick them down. It depends really. I mean, if you see with this one, I've got some good patterns on the inside, so I'm going to stick that one on the inside so you can still see the bird. You see? Just like that. So, we've got our boxes now.